This is a Red FM Vancouver podcast. Make sure you hit subscribe for more great content. For further info, log on to redfm.ca.
ਘਾਟੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਿਆਂ ਹੋਇਆਂ, ਡੈਫਿਸਿਟ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਿਆਂ ਹੋਇਆਂ, ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਬਿਲ ਮੋਰਨਿਓ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ $343.2 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਦਾ ਘਾਟਾ ਡੈਫਿਸਿਟ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕਾ 2020-2021 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਯਾਦ ਰਹੇ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤਸਵੀਰ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਬਜਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਸਨੈਪਸ਼ਾਟ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੀ ਮਾਲੀ ਹਾਲਤ ਦਾ। ਇੱਕ ਆਰਥਿਕਤਾ ਦੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫੋਟੋ ਖਿੱਚ ਕੇ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਝਲਕੀ ਦਿਖਾਈ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਝਲਕੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਵੈਸੇ ਤਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਤਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਇਹ $300 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਤੱਕ ਦਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਪਹਿਲਾਂ $252 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਚੱਲੀ ਅਤੇ ਫਿਰ 300 ਦੀ ਅਤੇ 343.2 ਨਿਕਲਿਆ। ਬਜਟ ਹਾਲੇ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਣਾ, ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਐਤਕੀ ਬਜਟ ਪੇਸ਼ ਹੀ ਨਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏ। ਮਹੀਨੇ ਤਾਂ 6 ਰਹਿ ਗਏ ਨੇ, 5 ਰਹਿ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਦੇ, ਪਰ ਉਹ 31 ਮਾਰਚ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਮੁਤਲਕ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਸ਼ਹੂਰ ਪੱਤਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਆਟਵਾ ਤੋਂ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਸੁਣੀ ਹੈ। ਟੌਮ ਕੋਰਸਕੀ ਬਲੈਕਲੌਕ ਦੇ ਰਿਪੋਰਟਰ ਹਨ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਇਨਵੈਸਟੀਗੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਾਬਲ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਨੇ। ਉਹ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਮ੍ਹਾਂ ਤਫਰੀਕ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇਸ ਸਨੈਪਸ਼ਾਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਰਅਸਲ ਹੈ ਕੀ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵਿਤ ਕਰੇਗਾ। ਔਰ ਆਮ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਕਰਜ਼ਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਖਰਚੇ ਨੇ, ਇਹ ਕਿਤੇ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਚੀਨ ਨੇ ਭੇਜ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਅਫਗਾਨਿਸਤਾਨ, ਸੁਡਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ, ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਨੇ। ਇਹ ਪੈਸੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਹੀ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਇਹ ਪੈਸੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਕਦੇ ਸਰਵ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਦੇ ਵੇਜ ਸਬਸਿਡੀ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਤੇ ਕਦੇ 40-40 ਹਜ਼ਾਰ ਦੀ ਅਮਦਾਦ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਉਹ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਖਰਚੇ ਨੇ, ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਕਾਰਾਂ ਲਈਆਂ ਨੇ, ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਖਾਣਾ ਲਿਆ, ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਗਰੋਸਰੀ ਖਰੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਬਣੇਗਾ ਕੀ, ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਡਾਈਸੈਕਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਲੈਕਲੌਕ ਦੇ ਰਿਪੋਰਟਰ ਟੌਮ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ। ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਟੌਮ।
Good morning, Harjinder.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So what's your take on this economic snapshot?
It's catastrophic. It's a disaster. Well, it takes your breath away. So we're left with a deficit, if you include overspending in March, just this year of $351 billion. That's 6 times the previous record deficit, the largest budget shortfall in Canadian history, times 6. And we're left with a federal debt this year of at least $1.2 trillion, trillion with a T, absolutely catastrophic.
But to be honest, the Trudeau government did say that this budget will be a deficit budget. Even during the elections, he's been keep on telling.
Undoubtedly, as has every parliament since 2007, when was the last year that parliament balanced a budget. Here's the problem, Harjinder, with the debts that they have. The bondholders will get first call on every dollar for the next 25 years. It doesn't matter what the need is in the community. That is a dollar you will not spend on diabetes pumps or bright new schools or a shiny new wing for the hospital or a wheelchair ramp at the soldiers' home. The money will go to the bondholders first. They want to get paid, and they will get paid for the next 25 years. That's a problem.
Who, in your opinion, will benefit from the CERB extension?
The extension of that program, of the Canada Emergency Response Benefit, is targeted to people who are now find themselves chronically unemployed. They simply can't get work, and there are a lot of people who can't get work. There's no doubt about it that will cover rent, pay for some groceries as we go through the summer. Problem, pandemic is not over, and every epidemiologist will tell you there will be a second wave, likely in late August or after Labor Day. Mm-hmm. And then what, Harjinder? Will there be another wave of store closures? It just goes on and on, but the money is gone.
In BC, some people are calling these payments unfair. Do you agree with them?
I think that there was a need that was on the spot. The problem, just my opinion, with it, Finance Minister Bill Morneau is he's kind of an all-or-nothing kind of guy. So he runs it either at 0 or at 60. So they pushed out a lot of money. The cost of that program to date, according to Parliamentary Budget Office and their own budget estimates, is $71 billion. They will seek an extension for the chronically unemployed. These are staggering sums. This is bigger than the military budget. And that's all borrowed money, every penny of it. And so anyone who's getting a CERB check, I hope they enjoy it because they'll be paying the interest on that for the rest of their working lives.
So who's going to pay back all this $343 billion? Do you think the government will print some more money now?
I think anyone under the age of 30 has a right to complain. Harjinder, our generation just spent the money. They get the bill. Good night and good luck. In a generation, they will not pay down those debts. It is simply staggering.
And also, could you please tell us, what is your take on this We Charity fiasco?
There was a sense of two problems. Number one, the concept of providing a grant to students to do volunteer work came in very late. Even the Students' Federation of Canada said, the kids have been away from university, college, and trade school since March. So even to get the maximum benefit, I believe it's a $5,000 grant, it would be virtually impossible now because you can't get those hours doing work for community service, charities, planting trees, etc., because they have to get back to school in September. The second issue, we have charities in this country, Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, Salvation Army, performing community service for many, many years. But they're not these fancy charities that have these cocktail parties and invite the Prime Minister's wife to get on a flight and go down to Manhattan and give a motivational speech. This seemed to me very clumsy. It was surprising that Cabinet dropped it amid criticism as quickly as they did. It appeared to be an acknowledgement there was a serious problem. This was mishandled.
Well, as an investigative reporter, you have investigated many other scandals. Do you call this a scandal yet?
The We Charity, I think, is really awkward. I don't see it as a scandal that involved really gross misfeasance, a waste of money, or some of the issues, frankly, we see in suspicious contracting that have occurred with a lot of money that went out the door. But, Harjinder, I think it's really embarrassing for the Prime Minister and his wife.
Well, in a way, with all fairness, the whole cabinet approved it. But the only thing is that Prime Minister didn't recuse himself.
No, absolutely. No one ever said no. The point taken, I agree.
So, do you think the more investigation of this fiasco will lead to some kind of scandal?
The problem is the Federal Ethics Commissioner is investigating this. But under the Conflict of Interest Act that applies to MPs, which says basically you can't do this, you know what the maximum sanction is? They call it naming and shaming and a $500 fine. $500! There are speeding tickets that are bigger than that. I understand that for serial people who run red lights or don't pay for parking fees, $500 is a nothing. That's the problem under the Act. It's apparently embarrassing, but it would not be the first time that a member of Parliament, a politician, or a member of Cabinet has been embarrassed.
Tom, God forbid there's a second wave. If there is, how do you see the economic snapshot of Canada?
I think they won't have a choice but to do what has occurred in other countries, Harjinder, such as, for instance, Taiwan, where the shutdown lasted not to 3 months, not 2 months, it lasted 2 weeks. They said to everyone, get on a mask and get back to work. Their economic shutdown lasted 10 business days. We cannot drive storekeepers, retailers, small businesses into the ground. Do you know retail figures show that storekeepers have had their worst year to date since 1932. It is an absolute disaster. More pandemic shutdowns of the retail sector would be absolutely catastrophic.
Anything you'd like to say in closing?
I would. I was thinking, Harjinder, I remember years ago hearing from an Alberta homesteader. These were sodbusters, the toughest people on earth, who faced flood and fire, blizzards and drought. Mere survival, they rated as a success. And this old-timer was asked whether he had any words of wisdom, and he said, I do. He said, the main thing is not to worry. I can't top that, Harjinder. That's the main thing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you.
Have a great day, Harjinder.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another Red FM podcast. Don't forget to hit subscribe and check out our Red FM Canada YouTube channel. For further info, log on to our Red FM social media platforms or visit redfm.ca.